Stardew Valley is a 5-year-old game made by a man named Eric Barone. I've put over 400 hours into this game and it became one of my staples extremely quickly. In today's video, we're going to be talking about a few essential tips for new players. So without further ado, let's get started. Tip number 1, keep one of everything. This game implores you to hoard. Now, what I mean by that is throughout the game, you'll randomly come across an item you need, and some items are only found in specific seasons, including some fish and foraging items. It's a slight heartbreak for some people when you hit summer and need an item from springtime that you don't have. The traveling cart helps this dilemma by sometimes selling you the item you need, but don't count on it. You'll need items for various things, such as villager tasks and the community center. Usually when you start out on Stardew Valley, you'll sell everything and start getting into the community center in summer or fall, specifically because you don't know what the point is. I'm not here to give away game spoilers, but let me tell you, check out the community center sometime in the spring and start gathering items for it sooner than later. And keep in mind, some items you'll need 5 of, but it's better to do that research on your own. Tip number 2, get animals quickly. Talk to Robin, see her options, and do what you will. My tip is only to let you know what will be better for you going forward through the game. I'm not trying to encourage min-maxing. This game is definitely played better at your own pace, and in my opinion, in single player. But animals are huge. They make money, they also contribute to the community center, so the sooner you purchase some animal friends to keep you company on the farm, the better. Side note, don't cut your grass on your farm down until late fall, and if you do cut it, buy a silo first. They're 100 gold, trust me. Tip number 3, invest in friendships. This is probably one of my favorite parts of the game that gets overlooked by new players. When you start the game, your first intention isn't to talk to the villagers and give gifts like crazy. More than likely, you won't know what to give them, and you won't be aware of how cool it actually is to become friends with them. But I'm here to tell you that the sooner you interact with the villagers and the more gifts you give them, the more fun you'll have in Pelican Town. Tip number 4, plan ahead. With a game as customizable as Stardew Valley, you'll surely be moving things around your farm, trial and erroring what you like in it, messing up where you put buildings, etc. Take 5 minutes before creating a look for your farm and decide what you think will be cool. Delegate where things should go, where you should plant your crops. If you're a neat freak like me, count the tiles in your farming squares to plan for where you're going to put your sprinklers. Oh, and I highly recommend sprinklers. Not the crappy first tier that waters 4 squares, but the upgraded one that waters 8. That one is definitely worth it. And if you were sitting here thinking you'd have to manually water your crops forever, praise be to Yoba that you don't have to. Tip number 5, upgrade your tools. This is a pretty simple one that also gets overlooked. Talk to Clint when you're comfortable not mining or chopping wood for a few days, and upgrade your items. This will make your life a lot easier, and with an upgraded pickaxe and axe, you can get rid of those annoying clunky rocks and logs on your farm. As for upgrading your watering can, honestly, you won't have much time to do that until the winter, where crops can't be planted. I'd say just keep the basic can until you have a juicy sprinkler setup, or until winter. As for the hoe, when you're not planting more crops, upgrade it. If you hold down left click with an upgraded can or hoe, it tills more soil and waters more as well. Tip number 6, decide what crops you want to plant. This is obvious, but I'll go a little more into detail with what I mean. Investigate the community center and see what crops you'll need in the future. This will help you delegate what crops you actually need for progression and what ones you don't really need. Strawberries, blueberries, and cranberries are your best bet per season. If you're confused about where to find strawberries, wait until spring 13. Save up some money and you'll find them. There's a better summertime crop, but you won't need that one until year 2, so don't worry about it. As for the big crops that take a while to grow, there's a cool feature where if you plant the crops on a 3x3 square and keep the inside crop watered after they're already grown, there's a 1% chance something crazy will happen to those crops. This effect works on cauliflower, melons, and pumpkins. Instead of harvesting them after they grow, water the inside crop and see what could happen. But don't wait too long because season-specific crops die when they're out of season. And finally, tip number 7 is mine. Personally, I'd recommend mining a lot when you start the game, especially on rainy days. It might feel overwhelming with how much there is to do in the spring, but don't let it get to you. Take your time with it, you'll get better as you play more, and you'll be able to gather food and things to restore your energy. It might be especially annoying for you whilst watering crops every morning or mining, because your energy plummets. This will get better over time, so don't worry about it. But like I said, mine, go deeper, get resources. This is a big aspect of the game. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new to the game and found these tips helpful, leave a like and a comment down below. If you're a Stardew veteran and you thought these were good tips, also comment down below. Again, thank you guys for watching.